Imagine waking up to a sky that has turned black. The sun is gone. Ash is falling like snow. The air is getting harder to breathe. And somewhere in the darkness, a dinosaur is still moving. Not because it knows the world is ending. Because it has no idea what is coming. This is the story of the final days of the dinosaurs. But not from the point of view of a giant predator. Not from the point of view of an asteroid. From the ground. From the animals that were still alive when the world they knew began to disappear. About 66 million years ago, the Earth looked completely different from the planet we know today. North America was warmer. Huge forests covered enormous areas. Rivers cut through vast floodplains. And dinosaurs were everywhere. Tyrannosaurs dominated the food chain. Triceratops moved through the vegetation. Hadrosaurs traveled across ancient landscapes. Above them, birds, some of the last surviving dinosaur groups, flew through the sky. For millions of years, this world had remained remarkably stable. Then something happened that changed everything. An asteroid came from space. It was roughly 10 kilometers across. And it was moving incredibly fast. When it struck near what is now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, the impact released an amount of energy beyond anything humans have ever experienced. The ground shook. A massive crater formed. Rock was blasted high into the atmosphere. And debris began spreading around the planet. But the impact itself wasn't the only problem. The real disaster was what happened afterward. Imagine standing in a forest hundreds of kilometers from the impact site. At first, you might not understand what is happening. The ground shakes. Animals panic. The sky changes. Then debris begins falling from above. The temperature rises. Wildfires spread across parts of the landscape. And within a short time, an environment that once provided food and shelter becomes dangerous. But some animals survive the first wave. And that's where the story becomes even more interesting. Because extinction did not happen in one instant. It was a chain reaction. The atmosphere changed. Light levels dropped. Temperatures shifted. Plants struggled. And when plants began disappearing, the entire food web started collapsing. Think about what that means. A plant-eating dinosaur doesn't just need to survive a predator. It needs food. And when the vegetation disappears, surviving becomes a completely different challenge. Then the predators face the same problem. Their prey becomes weaker, their numbers fall, and eventually, there isn't enough food to support them either. This is one of the most important lessons from the dinosaur extinction. The asteroid didn't simply kill dinosaurs directly. It helped destroy the system that dinosaurs depended on. And yet, something extraordinary happened. Some dinosaurs survived. Birds. Modern birds are living dinosaurs. That means the dinosaur story didn't completely end 66 million years ago. One branch survived. And today, it is flying over our cities, sitting on telephone wires, walking through parks, and hunting for food around the world. But why did some dinosaurs survive while the giant species disappeared? Scientists believe body size, diet, habitat, reproduction, and access to food all played roles. A huge animal needs enormous amounts of energy. A smaller animal can survive on much less. Some surviving species may also have been able to eat seeds, insects, or other food sources that remained available after the vegetation collapsed. And that may have given them an advantage. But there is another part of this story that makes the extinction even more terrifying. The dinosaurs had already survived massive environmental changes before. They had lived through volcanic activity, climate shifts, changing sea levels, competition, predators, and countless ecological changes. They had survived for more than 160 million years. They were not weak animals. They were incredibly successful. But evolution doesn't create invincible species. It creates species adapted to particular environments. And when the environment changes faster than a species can adapt, even the most successful animals can disappear. That's what makes the end of the dinosaurs so fascinating. The T-Rex wasn't defeated by another predator. Triceratops wasn't hunted into extinction. The giant dinosaurs weren't simply replaced because they became old or useless. Their world changed, and once that world disappeared, the raise their young, the world would feel alive. And that's perhaps the most haunting part of the entire story. The dinosaurs didn't know they were living at the end of an era. They were simply living, until suddenly, the rules changed. The sky changed, the climate changed, the food chain changed, and eventually, the giants disappeared. But life didn't end. It adapted, it changed, and it continued. The forests returned. New ecosystems formed. Mammals expanded into environments once dominated by dinosaurs. And one small branch of dinosaurs survived long enough to reach the present. Birds. So the next time you see a bird flying across the sky, remember this. You're not looking at a creature completely separate from the age of dinosaurs. You're looking at the surviving branch of a lineage that lived through one of the greatest disasters in Earth's history. The dinosaurs didn't completely disappear. Their story changed, and in a strange way, it never really ended. This is Primal Secrets. Subscribe for more stories from the world that existed before us.